Tennessee Tech head coach Bobby Waller, the team coming off a big victory at home against Lindenwood. They're going to be back in action this week. Step out of conference play at Samford. So, Coach, some thoughts about your win, and we'll go to some questions.
Very excited with the win, homecoming, the weather. There's so much that goes into it, Kyle, when you have homecoming, the alumni that were back. Michael Penix, one of the all-time great running backs here. He's the dad of Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback for the Falcons. We have his son, Makai, a receiver on our team. So he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. We had about 20 of the former players, his offensive line, with us Friday in the team meeting there for the game. So much of that was positive leading up to the game. And then the way our team performed, we played really well in all three phases. We got up 17-0 in the first half and then came right out at the start of the second half, scored on offense, got the interception return from Cayman Spalding for a touchdown, who was co-defensive player of the week. And we were up 31-0 with 13 minutes to go in the third and just continued to play good football. What I'm most pleased about now, Kyle, is with this being our first back-to-back home games. This is the only time all year we had back-to-back home games. Our players were healthy. They were rested. We're getting a lot of guys back from injuries. So we were able to play a really efficient football game. We didn't turn the ball over. We took it away 3 times. We only had 2 penalties for 8 yards. And then we were really good on third down. We were 7 for 10 on offense, and our defense held them 9 out of 16. Overall, very good performance in all 3 phases.
Do you think that was the best game your team's played all year?
Say that again.
Do you think that's the best your team has played all year in a game?
Very close to the Gardner-Webb game week 4 when we went on the road and won on the road 52-21. That was another really dominant performance. And the reason I'm comparing those two, Kyle, is at Gardner-Webb, we were up 24-7 at the half. Saturday against Lindenwood, we were up 17-0. In both games, we scored the first 28 points of the second half. So at Gardner-Webb, we went up 52-7. And then in this game here, we also went up 52-7. We scored 35 points in the second half. So having that mindset, something we're trying to learn here, where the outcome is a distraction, that ability to, at halftime when you're playing good football, to reset yourself and continue to play good, consistent football, have a mindset that I'm working to dominate my opponent at my position to help my team, and regardless of what the score is. So this performance was similar to the Gardner-Webb game week 4.
I don't know if we've asked you specifically, but I want you to talk about your offensive line. If you rush for 400 yards in the game, they must be doing something right. So can you talk about those guys and what they've done this year?
Yeah, when you and I talked last week, we were Charleston Southern. We were 170 rushing, 170 passing, and the goal was to get it up around 200 each. The best teams that I've ever been a part of have really good balance on offense, and we got this thing going. Brian Scott, our offensive coordinator, and the offensive staff had some really good scheme in this game. We had a good mix of our regular offense with Dylan Leibel playing, and then our Wildcat package with Jordan Yates, who was a former quarterback at Georgia Tech, playing. And that just really got going in this game in terms of the rushing. And we ended up with 38 carries for 400 yards. So it was the offensive line, it was the tight ends, it was the way the receivers blocked in this game. When I talked to the team before the game, I'd emphasized to them this needed to be a line of scrimmage game on both sides of the ball, the offensive line and the defensive line. And to have Jalen Mitchell have 13 carries, 128 yards, Aiden Little's 11 for 98, Torrin Baker 2 for 75, and Jordan Yates out of the Wildcat had 4 for 34. And then we had a freshman running back, Tyler Wilson. His first ever carry was a touchdown. He had 6 for 35. So we had a number of different guys that contributed with the ball. And this was clearly a line of scrimmage football game that led to our success with our offensive and defensive line.
You mentioned Spalding, who was the co-player of the week, interception. He had 2.5 tackles for loss. Can you talk a little bit more about his game?
Yeah, he's continued to progress all year. He's our leading tackler. He's arguably the hardest worker on the team. He's the guy today at practice when the scout team running backs, we instruct them when they get through the line of scrimmage to run to the goal line. Every time he's in, he chases the ball carrier to the goal line. He wants to be on special teams. He loves football. He wants to play. So he has this mentality and this work ethic, and really fits our theme of everybody grab a shovel and jump in the ditch. It's, it may be a dirty job. Nobody wants to be the guy that's got to grab a shovel and dig in a ditch for 12 hours a day, but he's really grabbed a hold of that mentality of what we're trying to establish here at Tennessee Tech football with a mindset. And I'm not surprised that he had that type of production with the sack, with the interception return for a touchdown, the TFLs. He's played that way all year, and he's one of the few guys on defense that's remained healthy all year. He hasn't missed time this year. So many of our guys have been injured and missed certain parts of games or entire games, and came and stayed healthy. He's worked hard, and pleased to see him have the level of success he had Saturday.
Let's talk a little about Samford then and what you've seen of them. Just looking at their schedule, they scored 55 points earlier this season against Mercer when they were in the top 10. So Coach Hatcher's teams generally have been able to score some points.
Yeah, I like Coach Hatcher. He's an old school guy like me. We've been around. We're a little long in the tooth. So I had some really great conversations with him this spring and summer. 2 years ago, Kyle, they were 11-2 and made it to the national semifinals, top 10 team, 6-5 last year. I think they've gotten a little banged up this year. They're 3-5, 2-3 in the SoCon. They're 12-3 in their last 15 games at home, and we're going on the road. And we're a 1-4 team this year on the road. Our only wins at Gardner-Webb. So it's going to take a tremendous effort. They've got a beautiful campus, beautiful school, really like their stadium. They've done such a good job with their facility. And one of the things we're excited about, Kyle, this is only a 4-hour bus ride. As you know, in our league, the schedule can be brutal. It can be incredibly challenging. So really excited to go play this game about Samford. You mentioned the Mercer game 3 weeks ago. Mercer at the time was 6-0, ranked 7 in the nation, and they beat them at home. Samford beat them at home 55-35, just dominating performance. So typical Chris Hatcher team. They'll be efficient. They'll be detailed. They don't get penalties. They take care of the ball for the most part. But I'm excited to take our team, Kyle. This could be our 5th win of the season, and only 8 times in the last 20 years has a Tennessee Tech football team won 5 games in a season, which is, I'm shocked to even say that to you, but that's how poorly this program has performed in terms of wins on the field. And this gives us an opportunity to keep building our program, to get to 5 wins, to keep our campus excited, keep our alumni excited. It's just such a big game for us in so many ways. Even though it's a non-league game, we're going to stay at 4-2 in the league and stay in 3rd place. It's a non-league game, but boy, it's really big from the standpoint of getting that 5th win.
Coach, appreciate your time this morning as always. Best of luck on Saturday, and we'll talk to you next week.
You got it, Kyle. Thank you.